Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call hello, Yahweh, Shemi, Shai, Shemi, Dash, double honors. Once again, go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone, who continue to give us its truth. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing truth in all honesty and sincerity, trying to wake up the remaining hopefully lack. This is now I'm out the DC camp, and I had to laugh when I saw this because this news host went to, just across the Potomac from me. I'm here in D.C. To go to the Thomas Jefferson plantation. All right, and she thought she was just gonna get, the usual bullshit that we were all taught. The, you know, commercial version, but she got surprised, and it says Fox News host rages after diabolical, in quotations, diabolical museum made her feel terrible about slavery. But you have to ask yourself, isn't that what this hollow hoax shit that they push on you every year for these small hats, isn't that done to make, and haven't they profited greatly off of that sham? But whereas this is something that actually happened and continues to happen, I might add, because we're still suffering over here. The policies that came about as a result of this, all right, this is actual factual history. All right, it's not meant to just go there and buy postcards and whatever other memorabilia you know. It's fucked up. So let me read on. It says Fox News host Rachel Campos Duffy lashed out on Sunday because she said she was made to feel ashamed and guilty after visiting the home of former President Thomas Jefferson and learning about how he owned slaves. During a discussion on Fox and Friends, host Pete Hegseth complained about how the whole tone at Jefferson's Monticello home has changed to focus on his slave ownership. Let me get this straight. So, let me understand this. So, for untold years, decades, whatever, it's been the people that actually suffered under this motherfucker, and you all told this lie. Let's give it the respect that it deserves. Lie. Oh, it was just something that was over. No, you told a lie. You a false image here of someone that, yeah, he owned people that this whole nation has prospered off of greatly. And what did those people get? Nothing. And still to this day, everybody that comes over here, they springboard off of us, their causes and everything, and that's scriptural. This is all scriptural. This is not nothing but the thing here. Let's get let's get some scriptures. I don't want to go too long, but this was prophecy. This is let's see, I could go to the curses, all right, but this is going into what is our punishment. This is things that will happen, and we had people that exploited us, all right, because of this. These rabbis, these small hats, all right, came up with this scheme called the hollow hoax, and what it did, by and large, it detracted and distracted people from what's going on with us, because the prophecies point to us. That's why you don't see them focus on prophecies in these seminary schools and these theological seminaries, all that, they've pushed this lie since the Jesuits, going way back after the during and with the Jesuit order, where they went around all dressed in black and just told outright lies. All right, and then they put their images up as if they represented or were representative of the heavenly host, to include the Most High, his Son, and the angels. That's blasphemy. There's no coming back from that. All right, so, and something you should look up is Noah Webster, as in the Webster's Dictionary. Before the Catholic Church bought him out, what he said about the Jesuits. All right, yes, I encourage you to do that. All right. Anyway, back to this, Deuteronomy 28:1. This is punishment, like I said. This is, I'm just going to read the first two verses here. This is Moses, and he's telling you, if you do these things, all will go well with you. You follow the Most High's law, statutes, commandments. Here we go. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh, thy power to observe, to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power. But by contrast, if you do not, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now you got to ask yourself, now, from 16 to 68, you may have a couple that this could apply to, but as a whole nation, who do all these apply to? If you're being perfectly honest, if you're being objective, not subjective. But you're going to have people that, and that's what they're trying to get around now. So what they're doing is, this demon, vocab, no precepts Malone, what he's doing is, what vexed them the most was verse 68. All right, now, let's go to that, since I brought that up. Let's get that out of the way. And it says, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Because they didn't have an answer for this. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, slave men, and slave women, and no man shall buy you, buy meaning redeem. All right, let's see if I can bring that up, because I've been kind of faulty lately. So let's see if it'll work. This is a whole video in and of itself, so I'm not going to take too long. But when it says redeem, let's just get this out the way. It says shall buy. It actually means, whoops. All right, Quana. All right, to get, acquire, obtain. All right. Here it is, redeem. What does redeemed mean? Folks, what does it mean? So I can bear with me. Let's see. To redeem Israel from Egyptian bondage. So we are in the new Egypt. Let's go to, because some people just act like, they play these games. Well, we don't know, buy means to, you're going to offer yourself and nobody know. Let's go to buy. Past tense. All right, get by paying for, acquire the possession of in exchange for something of like value. Redeem, ransom, procure, get done. All right. Buy, purchase, that's the obvious. All right. All right. Now, let's look at redeem. To buy back, ransom, recover by purchase. And who put himself up for us? That was Yahweh Shai, right? To recover by purchase. Also, remember we were bought with a price. It says also in the theological sense, deliver from sin and spiritual death. All right. It tells you, all right, that it's only going to, Nat Turner, none of these people were going to be able to free us. All right. That's only going to happen when the Lord comes back. And who fits that bill? We don't own anything. We don't have a standing army. We don't have nuclear weapons. It didn't say we would have any of that because we are powerless. This whole thing, all right, is the Lord saying, you need me and only me. You're not going to overcome these Edomites, especially with the blessing that they have, which is the sword, and that means all weapons and manner of war. They have the huge edge because that is a carnal blessing for them. Ours is on the spiritual side. All right. Theirs is coming to an end, and that's it very soon. We are the beginning of what comes after, per 2 Ezra 6, verses 7 through 9. All right. It says the general sense of rescue or deliver. Who's our deliverer? There you have it. It's not hard. People make it hard because they've been caught. All right. They've sold this lie for so long. Everything's coming out now. So they have to focus on bullshit. Anyway, continuing on with this story. This lady, this reporter, she went to the Thomas Jefferson plantation. And she expected the norm, which was don't matter what happened to the people that were in slavery, just go there, have a good time, And that's another verse. Let me get that real quick because I intended to get that before I got caught up in Deuteronomy there. Hold on. So let's get, because that's the general attitude of these people when it comes to us. And again, that's prophecy. This is Jeremiah 15:5, and it says, for who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Good question. Or who shall bemoan thee? Second question. Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? And you see right here a prime example of this article. She didn't give a fuck about the suffering. Now, if that had been the hollow hoax shit, all right, they probably would have had candlelight vigils and all that shit, but this, again, is part of the curses. All right, let's get another one. Let's get Daniel. Got to go there. 12 and 9. He says, whoops. Let's see. Oh, I reversed it so I could always get that. This is Daniel 9 and 12. And it says, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil. Are these people not a great evil? These Edomites, these people that have been over us, that after Jerusalem was sacked, we fled throughout, but the majority of us fled into West Africa. And these devils, knowing this, all right, that's why they targeted. It was a specific people targeted. It was not, as you've been brought up with that lie that everybody that has dark skin is African. No, you have Elamites, aka East Indians, that are darker than a lot of us. Why are they not called black? See, there's been a conspiracy, as it says in Psalms 83. That is a conspiracy. By definition, that is a conspiracy. All right? We are those hidden ones. All right? So, yeah, there's no tiptoeing around this now. It's all coming out. Let me finish this. Daniel 9 and 12. And he had confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. Remember, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right? So now let's go back to this and see what this whole says. She says it's overwhelmingly negative. You go to visit the legacy of Thomas Jefferson and you learn about what a terrible person Thomas Jefferson was. Hexeth said that one visitor noticed that half of the comments on Jefferson were critical. Good. Campos Duffy recounted her visit to Monticello. I visit many of these homes, she recalled, and that is definitely what I picked up from all of this, that there is a reorienting, reconstructing of the history. No, the truth is coming out. We mean reconstructed? No. From the lies that you told? Yeah, okay. And you don't like it. You know, reconstructing of the history to basically make sure that the idea that he had slaves is on the same level as what they did for our country. First of all, you stole and robbed and murdered for everything that you ever got. You're a despicable, low-life piece of shit people. All right? It goes on to say, and I quote, there are slaves across human history. The news host continued, I get that. It's a terrible history we should talk about, but we should not feel guilty or ashamed of our leaders when we go and visit the people who brought us the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. You leave feeling that way. She goes on to say that anti-racism books could be found in the gift shop. Oh man, these people are, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, I tell you. It says, these were great men as far as their ideas go, but they were able to build this on the backs of slaves, and we honor that. Co-host Joy Jones chimed in. And we talk about that. That's different than rewriting the importance of Jefferson, the importance of Washington, or whoever it may be. And why have Monticello at all if you're only going to use it for grievance? Same could be said for that Hollowhook shit. Jones argued that liberal leaders are not perfect either. Socialist, Campos, Duffy, equipped. You come away thinking how terrible this. See, I'm so tired of this whimpering and about socialism and all this. Don't you know this is where this, if left up, and if Klaus Schwab has his way and his people around him, this is where it is headed. All that shit you were brought up in school, that you were programmed to hate socialism, communism, well, it's all coming here. The irony. Oh man, it's beautiful. It goes on to say, where's all this coming from, she asks. The homes of these presidents are being populated. This is a very diabolical plan on the part of the left. There we go, playing that, you know, right, left bullshit, Republican, Democrats. So what they've done is they've taken their donors on the left and they've populated the boards of these estates with leftists. Don't look over here at all the amazing things that Thomas Jefferson unleashed. It's always about inclusivity. It's the buzzword they use, and we fall into the trap because good, earnest historians who take care of Monticello sit there and they go, oh, you're right. You know what? We haven't included enough about the fact that he was a slave owner, so let's include. You can read the rest of this. I mean, man, it's only one. Let me finish it out. But it says, and then you get kids coming through thinking Thomas Jefferson was a bad guy. All of them were. They were a bunch of warlocks, witches, and other things, unsavory. These weren't holy men. Where the fuck you get off? We get accused of wanting to whitewash or not talk about that. We will talk about that. We know that. That's a real deal. But making it about America being an evil place is when we get into the realm of a cultural revolution. All right. Let's see. see if we can see a little bit of this. I mean, let's see. Is it gonna let me do it? Hold on. This particular one, wait a minute, let's see. I thought there was a link, but evidently not. Let's see, hold on here. Let's see. Let's go to web view. All right. Just give it a little bit of time, see if it'll load. But the thing is, and let me get the description. The thing is, it's just that time. This is Habakkuk 2. And you can read from the top, but I'm going to skip down for time's sake. Because what you're doing here, you know what? Let's go now. It says, Habakkuk 2:1, I will stand up on my watch and set me up on the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Most High answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, and that's what we're doing out here. All right, relating to you, rightfully so. All right, through the Spirit, what's actually going on, and filtering everything through the Scriptures. So the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And it's becoming evident now that, hey, what we've been saying, what Great Millstone has been saying, and others, all right, that these things are coming to pass. And certain people that realize that, what? All right, they're getting rocked now because, hey, oh man, those guys, maybe they're not so crazy after all. It says, for behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And those are the Israelites, the just. And the one that his soul is lifted up is not upright in him, that's these Edomites, these so-called white people that run everything, all right, because they're wicked. 5, yea, also, and this again points to him, he transgresseth by wine, his doctrine, his philosophy. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. It's never enough. He wants what's his, and he wants what's yours. He's going to do everything he can to get it, because he, at the end of the day, is a word we use sometime, and it's called a scoundrel. Look it up. He's a covetous piece of shit, all right? But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Or it's one of the MOs of these Edomites, starting with the Greeks. He made all nations tributaries unto him. He gathered unto him all people, just like America, following after in the footsteps of the ancient Romans and the Greeks. This is the revived Roman Empire. You look at the architecture. I'm here in D.C. It's all over the place. How it's laid out, the grid, it's all witchcraft, all right? And going back to Petra and Mount Seir and all that, you look it up, it's the same architecture. 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him? It's in their spirit. They can't get away with it. You look at these buildings, it looks like caves. Again, look up Petra and Mount Seir, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? Did I not just say that earlier? That they raped, robbed, and murdered, and they stolen everything that they ever have. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. This is this debt-based, all right, system. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake, that shall vex thee? And that's what's happening. And thou shalt be for booties unto them. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood, that's Isaiah 33 and 1. Because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Let's get that real quick, since I mentioned this is Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. What is that talking about? Let's go to Psalm 7. Go down here, 15. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. 16. His mischief, talking about Esau, Edom, so-called white man, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. All right, so that's what we're talking about here. All these things that he's done, everything's turning around on him. It says, 9, woe to him that coveteth. What did I say about a covetous man? That's what we're dealing with. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. And that's all he's ever done, all throughout the world. Again, this is going back to when you understand Genesis, the 4th chapter. This is why that, what was it about whoever slays Cain shall be what? 7 times, this is what he was reserved for. There have been several times in history. One had to do with the Mongols, where they were trying to wipe the Edomites out and almost succeeded. But you can tell in that instance in specific that there was a divine hand involved, because what happened? The Khan died, and it was custom that they all return. So they had to flee Europe and go back, and that saved the so-called white man, as we know. All right, he had to be reserved. Why? Because of prophecy. Same thing with Japan. The Mongols, Genghis Khan, his grandson Kublai Khan, they were going to wipe out the islands of Japan. But what happened? Kamikaze, the divine wind, both times at the bottom of the ocean, wiped them out. All right, just a little side note, but it says 13, behold, it is of the Most High, the Lord of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very, very vanity. And that's all this place is. It's all about, the look. Sorry about that. But anyway, it says 15. 14. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord. And that's what's going on now. They can't stand it. All right? Things are being turned right side up now. All right? As the waters cover the sea. 15, and these are the points, these next 2 verses. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. Remember I talked about those philosophies, those doctrines in verse 5. That putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Which also links up to Revelation 12 and 10. He, the accuser of thy brethren. 16, here's the point. Thou art filled with shame for glory. All those things that you pounded your chest, stuck your chest out, and were so proud of, because people didn't know the truth behind most of the things, because they did not do or perform a diligent enough search. Because after all, these things you hid on purpose, because you did not want the people to know the truth and how foul that you were and still are. But now those things are coming out. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Most High's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's what's happening. It's shame It's a shameful thing. They can't take it. She thought she was just going to go there and, you know, do the usual routine, and that's it. Be done with it. But no, 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 no. Au contraire, mon frère. It got the truth. She couldn't handle it. So here it is again. Fox News host rages after diabolical museum made her feel terrible about slavery. This is this CTR, this critical race so-called theory. No, it's facts. Facts which, hey, the truth. You can't handle the truth, as it was said famously by Jack Nicholson and a few good men. These people can't handle the truth. All right? Hey, so with that, till another video, shalom.